Welcome to Cox Connections, a link between you, our customers, and what's happening in the community we share. I'm Kim Stanley, Vice President of Operations for Cox Roanoke. Since 1965, the Virginia College Fund has been helping the state's institutions of higher education be accessible to as many people as possible. James Steele is the Executive Director of the VCF. He joins us now to tell us how the Virginia College Fund works. Thanks for being here today. It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the Virginia College Fund.
Well, the Virginia College Fund is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we raise funds to help 5 colleges and universities, primarily in southwestern Virginia.
Okay, who are those 5 colleges?
Well, that would be Averett University in Danville, Virginia, Ferrum College in Rocky Mount. We've got Bluefield College in Bluefield, Virginia, Virginia Intermont College in Bristol, Virginia, and also Eastern Mennonite in Harrisonburg.
Okay, so there's really a difference. You know, people might get it confused, but this is not a part of the State of Virginia College Fund.
Right.
Okay.
Our fund is really about access in the local communities to a private college education. And the key there is that not every student can go to the larger universities that are in different locations around the state. Some need to go to local schools, some want to go to a smaller environment. And what our schools do is provide that environment in really what we see as a regionally diverse area of southwestern Virginia.
Okay. How do you get the funding for the fund?
Sure. We raise the money primarily through corporations that are all over the state of Virginia, individuals that have a philanthropic intent, and then also foundations and grants that we're aware of.
Okay. You also, I mean, businesses, how, why should they donate to the fund?
Well, we talk to businesses primarily, and businesses probably comprise about 60% of what we collect. And by the way, those funds that we do raise go directly to the schools for scholarship and operational support. So 100% of every dollar that's contributed goes to the schools. We're subsidized from an operating extent from each of the schools, so there's no overhead, if you will, from the money that we collect. And we think that's important to Virginia businesses. The schools provide about 1,000 jobs in the local communities that they serve in. I think the operating budgets are about $100 million, and that all impacts Virginia. But moreover, the students, and about, I think we're close to 60% of the students are from Virginia, and many of them stay and come back to work at employers such as Cox.
Absolutely. So that's pretty impressive. 100% of what's donated to the fund gets distributed to the students.
It does.
So,
it does.
Yeah, I don't want to miss on that one.
And that's really, that's our goal, is to raise as much money as we can and to provide that money back to the schools so that they can give that to the students. Some interesting statistics are that of the students that we have, I believe 90% will need some sort of financial aid. Of our current population of students, 20% are minority, 20% are first-generation college attendees, and then 60% are of low to moderate income households. So you can see there's a great need for the funding that we provide.
There really is. So how do the students access that funding? I mean, I guess it's that time of year where students are starting to think about that.
Students and parents.
Exactly.
I have one too that I'm thinking of, and the students go directly to the schools, and so we divide the funds that we collect in a year 5 ways among the schools, and we do that partially on enrollment. And so those schools have the funds, and every year that we can raise these funds, they're able to give more and more back to the students that go there. And all the students have to do is have the acceptable grade point average to access those funds.
Okay, so it is based on the GPA of the students.
Yes.
And then they work with their university, their college.
Correct.
Okay, to access that, to see if they qualify.
Yes.
And I'm guessing it's a pretty extensive process that you guys go through to distribute the funds.
It is. I mean, We really base it just on, we have the 5-member schools, we divide it 5 ways, but it's just based on enrollment. So Averett gets a little bit more since they're our largest school,
okay.
and the Virginia Intermont gets just slightly bit less because they're the smallest.
Yeah, I tell you, it really changes lives, I'm sure, because of the statistics you just mentioned. We just don't realize how much help these future business leaders, future community leaders really need from us. So
Yes.
I'm sure you've got some great stories.
Well, we do, and you know, probably the largest impact that these students have and the life-changing that we see has to do with the economic impacts of these communities. When you talk about communities like Danville, Rocky Mount, Bluefield, these schools are economic drivers in their communities, and so that's important there just for the local communities. But moreover, the programs that they offer are just far-reaching. Averett University, for instance, has a great nursing program. They have an adult education program that's not only in Danville, but also Richmond and Northern Virginia, so it's very far-reaching. Ferrum College has a great business school as well as a criminal justice program that has the FBI coming down to interview their students year after year. Bluefield College has an international program with China, with a China university, and they have exchange students going back and forth. Eastern Mennonite has a great peace and mediation program, so they send students to troubled areas of the world to learn, as well as bringing those students from those universities back to Eastern Mennonite to study. And Virginia Intermont has the national champion equestrian program, and not just for small schools, but for the largest universities in the country. So they're one of the best. So great diversity and great programs that offer the students just opportunities they wouldn't have elsewhere.
That's just phenomenal. So how do our viewers get more information about the Virginia College Fund?
Sure. The easiest way is to go online at www.vvcf.org.
Okay.
That's our website, and so that's an easy way to do it. If they'd like to give us a call, we'd be glad to talk to them. And the phone number they can use is a toll-free number, 1-800-992-8063. And we'd love to talk to them about the Virginia College Fund. We're always looking for friends and supporters, and so any way that we can get the message about the College Fund out there.
Great. Thank you for being on the show, James.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks. Coming up next on Cox Connections, we'll find out how a regional organization is championing the area's technology industry. Stay with us. That story after the break.